Hey guys, how's it going? Kevin Cleary here with a knife review for you. Today we are looking at the Kansept Knives Bulldog. This is a design that I absolutely love. It is from Kim Ning, who had some Kaisers that I really like the design of, and I think was one of the lead guys who left Kaiser to go over and form Kansept Knives. And frankly, I'm kind of glad he did because there are some Kansept knives that have been really, really excellent. And I think this is one of them. I will say I was drawn to this knife by the design, and when I got it, and I've been able to spend some time with it. There's always a risk there when you like the look of a knife and you buy it based on that. You can end up, getting burned. But this is not that way. This is a really, really nicely done folder. Fit and finish is good, construction is good, action is good, materials. I'm very, very satisfied. So let's get into some of the specifics on all of that. So quick rundown on the specs. This knife is a knife that in pictures looks bigger than it is. I want to point that out first of all. Let me throw a pair of two in here beside it, and you can see that these are essentially the same size. There's like less than a 16th of an inch difference between them. And yet, if I take this out of the picture, I think a lot of people would see this and go like it's probably like a Recon 1 size knife. Now, the blade is much more substantial. So let's give you the overall numbers here. So we've got just under 8¼ inches here, 3 5/8 on the blade. So that's a good bit larger than the PM2. You're getting quite a bit extra cutting edge. And that's a very impressive blade size for the handle size, which is only 4 5/8. How many knives have I reviewed that have a 5-inch handle and a 3.5-inch blade? There's been tons. And so to get 3 5/8 out of a 4 5/8 handle is really, really impressive. Grip area here is 3 3/4 inches. It fits my hand very well. No complaints whatsoever with the fit there, even though I have fairly large hands, and that's one of the things that can put me off of a knife. The weight on this is 4.46 ounces, which again, for the size of blade, for the overall size of the knife, for an 8 1/4 inch titanium frame lock, 4.46 ounces is absolutely great. All right. In terms of carry, I really, really like carrying this because I get that big substantial blade that I can, get just about anything I would need to do done with it. Everything from kitchen to outdoor stuff is fine. We'll come to the details on that in a second, but it's in a fairly compact package, which I really, really like. Now let's go pay attention to this blade a little bit more. We have a reverse tanto blade with a full flat grind, nice and thin behind the edge. Decent job here, actually good job on the plunge grind. All right, stonewash finish on this 20 CV steel. 20 CV from Kansept Concept is really, really welcome, and they are branching out a little bit. It almost became a thing over the last couple of years where it's like, well, I guess every Kansept is just going to be S35 VN, but they've definitely changed it up a bit lately. So very, very happy to see that. And the performance on this has been just great. I also love, and I've commented on this so many times, when you're going to have my thumb kind of running up the blade here, and I do like this nice smooth, straight spine, having a spot for my thumb to rest and a bit of jimping there is very, very welcome. They've done a nice job on this stonewash. And so, yeah, in terms of the blade here, I'm very, very satisfied. Moving from the blade, let's go ahead and talk about the action. This is about the only area where I have a bit of a complaint, and it's not really a complaint, certainly not a fair complaint. This is a front flipper, and that's absolutely fine. You guys know I'm not in love with front flippers, but the action on this is so smooth and so dialed in that I'm more than happy to deal with it. So look at that. Yeah, just great. I want to say that this feels a little better even than other concepts or Kansept knives that I have had. I don't know why I can't get the name straight in my head. That's probably me overblowing this a little bit. It just feels so good, and I don't have another Kansept knife here to just compare them side by side, but it's very, very impressive action. The lock bar is nice and accessible. So I'm very, very happy. The one thing I would wish for, if I could, have a knife genie that granted all my wishes, is to have a fuller here. You can see I can sort of, 1 in 5 times or something, get this to Spidey flick. If there was a fuller running down the spine here, even if it went partially, but I think, a longer one would probably tie in with the design better. Um, I would love that, and it would be an alternative deployment method that I like to see on front flippers, because I'm not in love with the ergonomic function of front flippers. You kind of have to get your hand in a weird spot, make sure you're in the right area, and then flip it out. And if this was your only knife and you kind of got used to doing that, it's probably fine. But for me, when I'm used to a bunch of other knives, then I kind of wish that I had that ability to Spidey flick this or roll it out with my thumb that would be provided by a fuller. So that's my only complaint. But honestly, the detent is dialed in. The smoothness is right where it should be for a high-end titanium frame lock. So I'm really, nitpicking when I say I wish it had a fuller, and that's purely me personally. And looking at the knife from the start, I knew it didn't have one. So that's a really, really unfair complaint. Moving on to the handle, I love this handle design. It's just so clean and straightforward. The finishing on the titanium, bit of a bead blast there, I think looks really nice. I love the blue accents. You can see the pivot collar and the hardware there. I love the milled titanium clip and the bit of a blue pop on the backspacer there. So from a design standpoint, I already mentioned that that's what drew me to this knife in the first place, and I'm really, really happy with that. From a construction sort of quality standpoint, guess what? Same thing, no issue here. There's some milling there to cut down on the weight. The backspacer is nice and flush and clean. I mean, everything is the way you would want it to be. The pocket clip works well. It's got that little bit of a flat spot there. And every once in a while, like today, if you're wearing regular pants, it shouldn't be an issue. Today, I'm wearing 511s with those reinforced pockets, and that, that's where I've got to just pay a little bit of attention to what I'm doing, but it works fine. It's not like I can't do it. I just have to be like, oh yeah, let's wiggle this around and get it in the pocket. In every other pair of pants, you don't even have to think about it. You just kind of pop it in. So all that, all the things that I've gone over there, I'm quite happy with. I really don't have any issue with this knife whatsoever, right? I'm very, very pleased with what they've done here. Okay, so now having said all that, let's get to a couple of comparisons, and then I'll sort of give you my final thoughts here. So what have we got? So in terms of, a sort of a budget titanium frame lock that I really, really enjoy, we have the Mastrop Crux here, built by We Knives. Really, really nice. Of course, this is a Ferrum Forge design, and I'm a big Ferrum Forge guy. So, these are a little bit cheaper, but it's just another really, really great design that's available for an affordable price in a titanium frame lock. Let's throw in zero tolerance. Most of us who are knife guys, probably have a couple zero tolerances. I would say the action on the Kansept is a little more refined. And of course, the price point is a little bit better, but this definitely is comparable in quality to a ZT. Might come just a little bit past it. And then we have the Riot Torrent, which of course is one of my favorite sort of titanium frame lock, modern tactical folders, whatever you want to call it, of all time. And this compares pretty well, actually. I wouldn't trade this for this, but when I look at them side by side, when I feel them, when I carry them, like the level of satisfaction and the design and the joy that I get from both is pretty darn close. So that is saying a lot, because I love the Riot Torrent. All right, from, as a final thought here, Kansept does a good job, generally speaking. I've had a bunch of them. They tend to do a great job in terms of construction and fit and finish and action, and this is no exception. In fact, it may be even a little bit better than some of the previous Kansept knives that I have handled. In terms of design, I really, really like this knife. This is a great design. And, Kim Ning has a few designs that I've appreciated in this, but this may be the one that, to me, from sort of his portfolio, stands out out the most. I really think he's done a great job here. And so, yeah, this, if you like the design and you are okay with it being a front flipper, this is a great knife. Really, really enjoyable. So there you go, guys. Those are my thoughts on the Kansept Knives Bulldozer. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out White Mountain Knives. There'll be a link in the description box down below. Use my discount code SHARPSTUFF, and that'll save you 10%. So we both kind of win. It helps the channel. It helps you. All good. All right. We'll talk to you later.